contradict one another more than fire and water. This is basically the most fundamental question, the most fundamental problem that all religions in the world have tried to resolve. Human beings are the only creatures in the world that have this inner contradiction within them. All other creatures are either entirely spiritual or entirely physical. The only creature that has the combination of both, spiritual and physical, is a human being. Now, it's not just a contradiction, it's the contradiction, because each part strives for something opposite than the other. As one of the famous commentators of Sefer HaZohar says, the spiritual, the soul, the neshama, desires to give, whereas the body desires to receive. Now, you can't do both. You can either give or receive. So it's only a human being that has these two opposite desires within him. On one side, you want to give. On the other side, you want to receive. Your body wants to receive, your soul wants to give. So what do most people do? Most people simply ignore this contradiction. Kind of a little schizophrenic. At the time that we indulge our body with something, we receive. At a time we let our soul flourish, we give. But all religions on earth have tried to find the way for a person to be consistent and to have all his actions and all his deeds one way. Of course, the preferable way is to give, to have the soul rule over the body. But what's the solution to that? No other religion besides Judaism have found the right answer. Look at the Catholic priests. They try to avoid physicality. We all know what they do behind the different sins. Look at the Muslims. They're not allowed to drink wine. They can't even touch a bottle of wine. But they do other things, maybe even worse. So the right solution for this contradiction is, Ramban says, Kedoshim Tiyu. Kedoshim Tiyu means, and I could speak about this a long time, but I'll tell you one short explanation to this. Means that a person should take his will to receive, should take the will of the body to receive, and have an intention to receive in order to give. And once you have that intention to receive, and anything you receive, you have the intention in order to give, so then a reception in order to give is giving. And then you're consistent. Everything you do is just giving. When your soul gives something, you give it. When your body takes something, since you take it in order to give, you're also giving. And that's a holy person. A person that takes whatever he takes from this world in order to give, that's holiness. Now, it might sound simple, but it's not that obvious, because you could receive in order to give, but you could also give in order to receive, and that might be a little confusing. I can tell you that my mother, should live and be well, always complains that there are some charity organizations that when they want you to donate something to them, they tell you, if you donate this amount, you'll get this gift. If you donate that amount, you get that gift. So she says, why do they have to waste their money, their budget, and buy gifts for the donors? If the donors want to give, they don't want to receive, they want to give. But apparently, some organizations found out that some people might not give if they don't receive. So such a person who only gives a donation because he receives a gift, that's giving in order to receive. So I'm not sure if that's pure giving. That's give in order to receive. There's also reception in order to give, and that's the best thing. As the Gemara tells about, the Midrash says about Hillel the elder. Hillel once, after the lecture, went outside. His students accompanied him, and they asked him, Rabbi, where are you going? He said, to do a mitzvah. So they asked him, what mitzvah are you going to do? He says, I'm going to bathe myself at a bathhouse. So they wondered, that's a mitzvah, to bathe in a bathhouse? He said, yes. If even the statues of kings they appoint people to clean them and to beautify them. So how much more so the man that was created in God's image? Of course, we have to beautify the person. So now, this act of bathing apparently is an act of receiving. You do it for your body. But if your intention is to receive in order to give, that's a mitzvah. That's a holy person. May we all merit to try to receive as little as possible, to give as much as possible, and whatever we receive in order to give, and thus will be holy people in a holy nation. Lag BaOmer Sameach.
Thank you very much to Rav Kidron. תודה רבה לרב Kidron על המילים הנפלאות האלה. Happy Lag BaOmer. Please join us for some simcha. Happy Lag BaOmer to everyone. Lag BaOmer Sameach lekulam. We'd like to invite everyone to get a little bit closer. We have another guest speaker tonight who is a very, very important speaker. We'd like to invite Rabbi Aaron Dovid Poston, Rabbi and founder of the Yiboneh organization, who is going to share some words with us. Please give him your attention.
Hag Sameach, Hag Sameach. If I can just ask everybody to please move your chairs a little bit closer, or turn your chairs in this direction, or end the conversation you're having with your neighbor. So we're going to get a little bit intimate here. Time for a little bit intimacy. What a beautiful evening. Hashem graced us with perfect weather. It really looked like there was going to be some rain in the middle of the afternoon. I want to first thank my wife, Yiboneh Poston, for all the tremendous effort that she went through, and all the volunteers, the many volunteers, too many that I can't count them all or mention their names, probably because I'm getting to that age where I don't remember all their names. Could be, I don't know. But this is, I think, the 7th or 8th year that my wife and I, even though Yiboneh is only 3 years old, this was our, this was our little baby. You know, we started doing this, and every year it's just going to be getting bigger and bigger, more and more popular. And it's like, we want to thank Rabbi, because it's really a very special place in the intersections between Baka and the German colony and Katamon and Talpiot, and people come from far and wide, from Arnona and Rechavia and Talbia, and we have people here from Texas, and we have what else? China, Paris. We have people from all over. Nachlaois, Talpias. It's amazing. So every year, I just try to... Colombia. Where else? Okay, guys, while we're at it, come on, where else? Anybody want to throw out some Jewish geography? Okay. So I try to find something new and interesting that I personally didn't hear, didn't know. Right, because the Torah is supposed to be new to us. It says every day. It says, it was in Parshas Emor, I believe. Okay, so on Shavuos, which is where we're leading up to, right, it mentions that we bring a mincha chadasha laHashem, and the Kli Yakar, which I'm a little bit into if anybody knows me, the Kli Yakar, which we're going to talk about, the word Kli tonight. But anyway, so the Kli Yakar explains, based on that pasuk, that we must feel as if the Torah is given us to this very day, each and every single day, and that's why Shavuos, even though it's mentioned as the 50th day, but it doesn't mention that it's Matan Torah. And yet, right after it says the 50 days, it says you have to bring a mincha chadasha. So that every single day, right, there's no Beit Midrash without a Kiddush. There's always something new. So what I learned this year, what I came across was, did you know that the man began to fall on Lag BaOmer? So we're celebrating a great miracle that happened to us in the desert, that on the 18th day of Iyar, the 18th of Iyar, the man, we call that soul food, that began to fall on the 18th of Iyar, which is tonight. I know you're going to have to ask somebody else. They didn't starve, but they didn't have manna, that's for sure. And it started to fall. And why do we know that? Listen to this. It's soul food. We actually received our souls, our Jewish souls, our highest neshama became revealed and in touch. We became in touch with it on the 33rd day of the Omer, the original 33rd day of the Omer when we left Egypt. Because it's soul food. We didn't need it. We weren't relating to food in that fashion before. It was, as Cecilia asked, what were we eating before? We were eating physical food. Now we're eating soul food. So basically what we're talking about is really the secret of 18. Okay? That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. And we know a famous verse in Vayikra, Leviticus 18:5. Ushmartem et chakutai ve'et mishpatai asher ya'aseh otam ha'adam v'chai behem. Ani Hashem. You shall observe my statutes and my ordinances, which a man shall do and live by them. I am the Lord. So our whole life is spent doing, right, in Yitz Hashem, Torah and mitzvahs, like the Rabbi spoke about. Giving, right? It's about giving. So that's giving life and doing mitzvahs and being involved in Torah. I just want to share with you a little bit of insight behind this. So there's a Mishnah. Okay, how many books are there in what we call the Bible? There are 24 books. 24 books. How many? Let me say it like this. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that says, in order, right, for a Kohen, the Kohun is acquired through, or they have 24 gifts. There's 24 gifts. Malchiyut, sovereignty, kingship, is acquired 30. And what about Torah? 48. So as an alumni of Esha Torah, my Rabbi Noach Weinberg spoke about this Mishnah, 48 Ways to Wisdom. 48 Ways to Wisdom, really, this is way we during the Sfirat HaOmer, there's so many lessons and midos that we can work on and learn. But the truth is, according to the Mishnah itself, there's 48 ways, and the Rav Noach says the 49th way is review, and then you're there. So the time of the Sfirah, meaning the steps that one takes from leaving Egypt till Matan Torah, are to acquire or to work on acquiring these 48 ways to wisdom so that we can really acquire the Torah. Okay, so basically since Moses was in place of Malchiyut, basically the king, and Aaron was the Kohen, so 24 books of Torah, 24 gifts of Kahuna, altogether 24 and 24 is 48. We take it one step further and we say that the 24 books of the Torah come first, and we're trying to relate in a certain way that each book of the Torah is one of the days of the Sfirah from the beginning. And then the last part of the 24, till you reach 48, are the 48 matanos, gifts for the Kohanim. So what's the 33rd? Meaning, what is 24 plus 9? So there's two different Braisiot in Shas. So one of the Braisios mentions that the 9th gift of the Kahuna is Lechem Apanim. The other Braisa mentions that the 9th gift to the Kohanim are the Omer offering, the actual Omer offering itself. So you have to be like amazed just about that. So what does Lechem Apanim have to do with it? So that's where Chai comes in, 18. Okay, so let me begin. This was all a brief introduction. Okay. Now we all know there are 613 mitzvahs, 365 don'ts, 248 positive mitzvahs active to do, can anybody say that they're a fulfilled Jew, that they can do all the mitzvahs? No. Why? Because some are only for men, some are only for women, some are only for the Kohanim, some are only for farmers, some are only for Levim, some are only for Yisrael. So guess what? Are you aware of the fact that there are 72 names of Hashem, or a 72-letter name of Hashem? So guess what? There are 3 verses. In Exodus 14, 19 through 21. There are 3 verses, consecutive verses, that have 72 letters in each one of these verses. When you go in, we read right to left. If you make a graph for yourself, the second verse goes left to right, and the third, you basically match up these 3 triplets, 3 letters of 72 names of Hashem with 3 letters each. The third name, the 33rd name, sorry, the 18th, we're still on 18th of year. The 18th name of the 72-letter name of God is Kli. Not the Kliyakar, but the Kli. And what's Kli represent? Kohanim, Leviim, and Yisraelim. We can only fulfill the whole Torah when we come together with Achdut, with unity. Now, if you want to be a receptacle to receive the blessing, you can't be a broken vessel, you have to be a whole vessel. So tonight, as Rabbi Kiva, what did he say? V'yahavtu chamoch is the Klag Gadol b'Torah. It's the greatest general principle. The foundation of the entire Torah is over my left shoulder, love your neighbor as yourself. So if you want to chai behem, how did we start off? That the whole Torah is the way we can connect to Hashem, the way we can connect to eternity. In other words, that's what it means, which a man shall do and live by them. The word live by them is chai, is 18. And we also have another famous verse when we take out, we call up the Kohanim, we call up for Kriyas Torah. Right? We say, V'atam hadbeitim Hashem Elokechem Chayim kulchem hayom. Chayim is plural for Chai. Listen, the 18th name of the 72 letters of Hashem's name is Kli, representing that unbroken vessel. And if we really concentrate and figure out a way, I want you to know, I mentioned about the 48 ways to wisdom. What is the 33rd? Did I do that right? Yeah. What's the 33rd? It's Hod Shabbat. What is that all about? It's gratitude. And when you have gratitude, you want to give. You're full of praises. You know what the 33rd Midah, meaning the Midah for today, out of the 48 ways to wisdom, is loving charity. The love of charity. In Hebrew, ohev et tzedakot. To love to do righteousness and charity and to be a giver. Just like Rabbi Kidron spoke about. So my blessing to you all, after putting through whatever I had to say for the last few minutes, is that we should all come together and really understand what it means to be created in the image of God, to know that everybody, every human being on the face of the earth is created in the image of God and has such unbelievable potential, Jews and non-Jews, unbelievable potential, because it can reach all the way up until Hashem. And there's no limit, there's no border, there's no limit to how far you can reach until you reach Hashem himself. So that last verse that I just mentioned it's really amazing, because this is the proof that there is such a thing as the resurrection of the dead, by the way. But you who cleave to the Lord your God are alive, all of you, this day. This day, we're all alive. We cleave to Hashem, we do Dveikus Hashem. If we cling to Hashem, and the word for mitzvot, the actual root is lechaber. The word sav really means lechaber. And if we want to really connect to Hashem, so we would really try to do the mitzvahs correctly, to learn, to be willing to really, work on our own character traits and understand and really feel for another human being, and to do the love, really embed in our own lives the love of charity. So we call Ahavas Chesed, and Yiboneh is founded upon Chesed. So we welcome you all to our annual Lag BaOmer party, and I want you to enjoy the rest of the evening. And there's my daughter. Wow, Okay, so welcome. Please enjoy yourselves for the rest of the evening.